Welcome back. Listen Up is in Ottawa, exploring how faith impacts the Canadian political process. And one of the primary ways that's done is through lobby groups.
I think faith speaks to all parties and speaks to all issues. And so Christians need to engage in every aspect of culture, in law, in politics, government, but also in the arts, in business, and in other areas of life.
They're tracking a huge range of issues and concerns.
Canada is not a Jewish country, it's not a Christian country, it's not a Protestant country, it's not a Muslim country, it's a country. And it has all sorts of voices, so why should the religious voice not be part of the mosaic, as long as the major motivation is to make this a better country?
The causes they support differ, but they're unanimous on one central theme.
Between 85 and 92% of Canadians identify that their faith belief is foundational to the way they live their lives. So it should be foundational to the way we develop our public policy.
Well, it brings a sense of value and a sense of the importance of the individual. Democracy without values is thinly veiled totalitarianism, or possibly can be. If you don't have anything to base your democracy on, like a sense of purpose, sense of the country, sense of tradition, sense of the worth of the individual, where are you? People can just vote whatever they like. Democracy can be ruthless as well as being very complimentary, very helpful, very liberating, but also can be enslaving.
It's important that the Christians be involved in democratic issues because they live in the world. The world is all around them and will impact them, and they can make an impact back the other way as well. And so to just turn our back on democracy and politics is, in my opinion, not the right approach.
These activists couldn't agree more and are making their voices heard on topics their faith won't let them ignore.
One thing that comes to mind would be the prostitution and human trafficking issue. Of course, the women involved are a hugely important issue as well, but also from the demand side.
Well, as a pro-life activist, I think talking about the sanctity of life is extremely important, both at the beginning with abortion and end-of-life issues like euthanasia and assisted suicide.
We have, for the last 5 years, been working quite diligently on Canada's mission in Afghanistan. And we're concerned that there's been a lack of robust public debate about our role in Afghanistan, and particularly non-military options for the mission there.
But their activities are not limited to research and lobbying. Rob and Fran Parker are hosts at the National House of Prayer, an unofficial embassy of prayer for Canada's leaders.
Well, I believe the Bible tells us to. I believe it's very clear that we should pray for government, for those in authority. I believe that God's ideal for government is that we have good government that brings justice and fairness for every person of our society, not just Christians, but all people.
Rob and Fran guide church groups and Canadians wishing to pray for Parliament, showing them how to access public seating during question period and keeping them informed on current issues.
Well, every day we're in the House of Commons and we pray for the various aspects of what the government are trying to present to our nation.
My heart is for prayer. I'm not political by nature. It's not something that I come by naturally. And the Lord's told me, just don't worry about that part. You seek me and see what I want to do. Talk to me. And that's my role, I feel, more than anything, is seeing people in Canada engaged in prayer on behalf of a nation. And government's just part of that. I'm really, really pleased when I see people of all ages who come here understand the responsibility of living in a nation that has the freedoms that we do in a democratic society, and we can't take it for granted. And that it doesn't matter who you are, what faith you are, what country you came from. This is a responsibility to take care of and steward.
It's not just concerned citizens doing the praying. Former MP Jack Murda organizes prayer meetings for parliamentarians that have been going on since 1964. Every Wednesday morning at 7, a group of MPs meets to talk with and pray for each other.
The whole objective of this is to build relationships more than probably anything else. Many members will tell me it's their most important hour of the week. You can leave your label at the door. You're not a conservative, liberal NDP. You don't talk politics, but you talk about yourself and your frustrations and your challenges and your triumphs, etc. And in that way, by developing a relationship with each other, better understanding, it really makes quite a significant difference.
And then there are those who are concerned about the next generation of policymakers.
To bring students to Ottawa just gives them a whole different perspective.
Dr. Janet Buckingham helps students get involved in politics while still attending class.
And to get that national focus, you really need to be in Ottawa. Many of our students are in political placements, they're in MP offices, they're in cabinet ministers' offices, they're in non-governmental organizations, and they really see firsthand how the politicians are acting, how they're running the government. And to have the faith-based courses alongside that, they really get a deep and rich understanding of the public good and how to bring a faith perspective appropriately into the public square.
These activists are pleased to see religious freedom issues getting political coverage in electioneering.
Canada has a great history founded on religious freedom. And one of the areas we engage very heavily in the courts is the area of religious freedom, because those freedoms are being challenged. When one looks around the world, one can see that religious freedom is, in essence, the canary in the coal mine that addresses other freedoms.
When Listen Up returns, people who changed their lives so they could change politics. That's next.
Oh, no, Mr. Maroney and I had plenty of differences other than the GST. Oh, you should have seen the list.
When you see how you can help more people, I think that then you see that politics is a genuine vocation.